Grand Rising, Grand Arrival, Grand Return. Peace and blessings to the righteous and repentant alike. Welcome to our first episode of Don't Miss This. This is our weekly news wrap-up. And I want to do these live, but for right now, I'm going to record them because I'm trying to put them on the clock app. So we're going to try to get this done in less than 10 minutes, but there is a lot of news. So this is the news for the week of January the 20th through the 26th of 2025. And these are notes that I already take for myself. And so all I'm going to do is stick them in the ley line because somebody has to keep the record. And that is a very important job that can't be trusted to just anyone. So here we are. And, my name is Chief Sophia of the MariKaNa Band of Indians. All right. So on the 20th, of course, that was Martin Luther King Jr. Day. State Farm renewed a lot of its policies in the Palisades that it had previously canceled. Biden, at the last minute, right before the inauguration, pardons Fauci, Milley, the J6 committee, and his family. And then Trump came in and did over 200 executive actions. And then see video from 121. So, I made a video on the 21st of January that covers a lot of the events. If you want to go into detail about the actual inauguration and all that stuff, it's a video from January the 21st. Okay. All right. On the 21st, India's government prepared to repatriate 18,000 that are here in the U.S. illegally. That's amazing. Trump, one of his executive orders was to attack countries taxing U.S. nationals overseas and also these corporations. So this is laying the foundation for a huge tariff battle. I made a video. It talked about the crowning of Americans. You got Ketanji, who is a Supreme Court justice and a tether from all accounts. She wears cowrie shells to the inauguration, which is rejected. All of that African spirituality was roundly rejected at the ballot box, i.e. Kamala lost, right? FEMA extends housing in Western North Carolina until Memorial Day. That's fantastic. Snow hits Louisiana and the Florida Panhandle, like a lot of snow, 10 inches. Ross Ulbricht was granted a full pardon by Trump, which he developed a website called the Silk Road, and basically it just allowed people to sell things back and forth using Bitcoin, and this is a time when they didn't want that, so they gave him 2 life sentences plus 50 years, some crazy amount of time. And so Trump pardoned him and he got out of prison. Oracle, OpenAI, and SoftBank pledged $500 billion for AI. Now, people don't understand. They pledged $500 billion. It wasn't the government's going to give you $500 billion. It's, no, you're going to put up $500 billion, and the government is going to ease the regulations so that you can get done what needs to be done. That's what actually happened. People don't understand. They didn't listen very carefully to that press conference. Trump pardoned some D.C. police so they would release the J6 prisoners, because you had some DC police who in the line of duty, I think they killed an illegal or something like that, and they literally sentenced them to like a life in prison, and to try to soften up the fact that they're gonna have to release all these J6 prisoners. They actually call them hostages, which is, I think, a true statement. Trump pardoned these DC police. Okay. All right. There was a huge push by the Borg to scare blacks about birthright citizenship. Now, we're going to have this conversation, which is fabulous. I think it's important. Chris Brown filed a $500 million lawsuit against ID Discovery or something like that for telling lies about him and some things they said he did that he didn't do. And so the Chris Brown return arc is back, and hopefully that means Rihanna's arc is going to go down. All right. Trump blocks all CDC, NIH, and FDA external communications. That's because they were getting ready to push this whole pandemic part 2, and that was cut. USA city in Japan congratulates Trump on the US election. I bet y'all didn't know there was a USA city in Japan. That was fantastic. So that's Tuesday. The 21st. This is the 22nd. Let's see. Elon, who has a problem with Altman, I'm assuming. He calls out Ellison, Altman, and SoftBank for not having the $500 billion. He says, y'all don't have the $500 billion. This creates a whole thing on the internet, okay? Trump executive order rescinding affirmative action, DEI for contracts in universities, really important because this DEI never, ever, ever gave upward mobility to black people. Affirmative action didn't either. It only helped white women, LGBT, and Hispanics. Period. I don't look at the numbers, check your mama on that one if you don't believe it. I say that security clearances should be temporary. A lot of these people, when they work for the government, they get these security clearances, and then before their clearance expires, they go on to work for these private organizations like Lockheed Martin or whatever. Let them pay for the security clearances. I don't understand why it's a whole racket. So security clearances should only apply while you're working for the federal government. And when you leave the federal government, these private organizations should be required to pay for security clearances. That's the only thing that makes sense. This stuff is so stupid the way that they do it, because that keeps a lot of people from being able to get jobs. So let's say you're an engineer, but you just got out of school. So you basically have to go and work for the government first before you can go and work for a private company. That's not how it's supposed to work. It's insane. All right. Trump team expects to raise $500 million by summer from corporations and wealthy donors. Everybody's trying to get on the Trump train. It's too late. Okay. Some Western North Carolina folks have moved into furnished apartments on this day. This is the 22nd again. USCIS, which is immigration, waives the COVID-19 jab mandate for applications. This is after outrage on Twitter about that. Boosie asked for a pardon, which I hope Trump obliges him. There's a pow in Nashville, and the shooter is a Hebrew Israelite child of 17 years old, who has been radicalized by the Hebrew Israelite movement. So someone needs to answer for that. And then the DOJ freezes all civil rights cases. That's the 22nd. Okay, this is going to be two parts. On the 23rd, this is the 48th anniversary of the Roots premiere, which Roots was basically a way to tie our people to that history that was never our history. Trump signs an executive order for the Lumbee Indians, which basically, I make a video about this, negates the whole thing of the Roots thing. The SEC allows banks to custody crypto assets, which is good. Trump pardons 23 pro-life activists, which is fantastic. Mexican citizen illegal scams casino out of $700,000 pretending to be a tribal leader in Michigan. No further comment. There's a beach and tennis club in California that uses goats to clear brush and escape fire damage, and this goes viral on Twitter. So that was the 23rd. The 24th, because the 25th got a lot. The 24th of January, menthol cigarette ban is withdrawn by Trump. Of course, we had a whole discussion about cigarettes and how good they are for you. A tweet that goes viral is about James Brown and how he did a live show in Boston on April 4th, 1968, and prevented the burning of Boston after the MLK death. I began to read a book that we're not talking about right now. And then right after I was talking about Alex Haley the previous day, now Alex Haley's Roots is exposed on X. Everybody's talking about it. Italy. I'm like, what word is that? Italy's state-owned news covers Elon's Roman salute. Hilarious. A black Masonic lodge makes Biden a master Mason. No comment. Trump visits North Carolina and LA. Conditions help in LA. Sends in the Army Corps of Engineers to North Carolina, which is good. Those people needed help. All right, so for the weekend, Saturday, a pistachio farm in California consumes more water than all of LA. That comes to note. Leftist compares Trump and DEI firings to McCarthy communist purging, which is interesting. Hot Pilates and hot yoga act as a lymphatic drainage and heavy metal detox. That comes onto the timeline. A girl posts 3-year vitiligo journey, and people realize Michael Jackson wasn't lying. Crazy. I request restitution, not reparations. I'm from the land. Reparations are for people who are not from the land. So if you're from the land, you just need restitution. If you're not from the land, you get reparations, okay? Etta James' birthday is today. It's the anniversary of her birthday. I talk about 25 CFR 83 used in the Lumbee Indian Executive Order. A black soldier goes viral for supporting America. I made a video, The Evil Roots Demolished by the Lumbee Announcement. That was about a 10-minute video. 33 years ago on this day, the Redskins win the NFC East, or the NFC Championship, which they did not repeat. There's a fake story about Trump removing Tuskegee Airmen story, which was a fake story. Al Sharpton suggests boycotting companies not supporting DEI. He does this with something he calls a buy-in, which is, anyway, the scepter is removed from Judah on this day. I realized that because the Redskins defeated the Lions. So that was the Redskins, the copper-colored people, defeating this whole line of Judah and all of this, and that's a scripture for another day. California residents say a power line exploded outside their home, so still fire stuff. Black is an evolution. As we talked about with the James Brown thing, and African American was the revolution. So we're going to be talking about evolution versus revolution a lot. And then the Parade of Planets is fully visible. Of course, Trump has a rally in Vegas, no tax on tips. All right, Sunday, this is the last day. And yes, we went over. Trump makes a video about the $5 Indians not looking like Indians. That comes back into TikTok world. U.S. losing the AI race due to hurt feelings because they don't want to hurt people's feelings. That's the reason why we're losing the AI race. Pluto and Scorpio generation is rising up. J.D. Vance is Pluto and Scorpio. Pete Hegseth is Pluto and Scorpio. It's a lot of 40-year-olds. Almost 40 and 40-year-olds, I think they're 42, that are rising to power, which is really good for this country. Apollon and Libra is really important, which we're going to talk about Apollon. But Apollon, basically for everybody who is over 10 years old, is in Libra. And so we'll talk about that. The Eagles beat the Redskins and Chiefs beat the Bills. And so the Eagles versus the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl. White conservatives' cognitive dissonance on FBI reports is again a discussion. These people don't believe the FBI for anything except when it comes to black crime statistics, which is nuts. Mormons come onto the timeline, which I didn't write it here, but just know that they're heavily involved. I talk about that in the video, The Evil Roots Demolished by the Lumbee Announcement. Colombia refuses, this is a huge thing, lasts all of 45 minutes. Colombia refuses to take back criminals. In between golfing, Trump threatens 50% tariffs. Colombian president cries about people in America being mistreated, then agrees to take their people. Okay, 45 minutes is how long that tariff threat lasts. Okay, reports of factories being empty and stores all across the country. People are wondering how many illegals are here exactly, because it seems like a lot. And then the Statue of Liberty is really copper colored underneath all of that stuff. So hopefully it'll be restored for the 250th anniversary of our country. And Dr. Phil and Tom Homan have videos, or the removal of these illegals in Chicago. So that's the news roundup for January 20th through 26th, 2025. We'll do a roundup every week, so that way everybody can know the news that I found important and the notes that I'm taking, so that way we can get it into the ley line. We have to keep the records. Everyone's going to have to keep the record on something. News is my thing, and so we'll keep the records on this. Peace and blessings, and of course, we'll see you in the next video.